Greetings, Commander. Greetings. Here we are. Well, Borodar, good morning. Welcome back. This is Farmer Ben. Today, a second part of my sort of beginner's guide to puzzle combat, just for players who are new to the game or have not played Empires and Puzzles before, because there are a few principles that do extend across both, and I imagine this extends to quite a few other games as well. Firstly, the general sort of principle of things you sort of try and do on a daily basis, or a few times a day. You don't need to spend long doing these things, but it does make a difference if you can sort of dip in and out of the game and get them done. Firstly, you want to just sort of go around your base, collect up any food you might have got, that kind of thing. I've already done the iron, but just collect bits and bobs, because you don't want to have your food, your farms and your watchtowers and anything else just sitting there full and unusable. You might want to collect your heroes. I'm not going to do that right now, but you might want to collect your heroes, level people up. These sort of activities which want to be done on a sort of fairly daily basis, just to sort of keep it ticking over. It's best to try and do it sort of fairly regularly so that you don't run out of food and iron. You can kind of keep the food and iron ticking over. You'll see that I've got buildings that could be leveled up. Well, I'm probably actually going to build some crafting items, just sort of be a little bit prepared. So crafting items, I might want to think ahead. I'm going to make some more shock grenades because they amuse me greatly. So there are some shock grenades under control, and the construction leaves me with 889 iron, which isn't going to get me very far. So those kind of daily tasks, this is all part of what I would refer to as farming. It's not, most people would say the farming refers to the replaying of levels, but I do kind of think it includes the sort of general gathering up of items, and also to an extent the daily raids to try and get your chests. I can't zoom in upon it, but under my amazingly funky avatar face up in the top left-hand corner, you'll see 3 chests: an enemy's chest, a hero's chest, and a war machine's chest, and they are filled by killing enough of each of those targets to activate the chest. So 100 enemies, 40 heroes, and 5 war machines, and occasionally you get a coloured chest come up there as well, which gives you even better loot. And they're always worth completing, and it's worth trying to fill the chests on a daily basis as well. Just quickly going into special ops. Special ops can be used as part of your farming. You'll see that I have completed the zombie horde and the scavenge resources. I have not completed gain experience. Essentially, I see there's little advantage to doing gain experience. It's quite a lot of world energy for... it gets you a bit more experience than you get from farming, but experience is sort of relative anyway. It doesn't necessarily take you anywhere having a bit more experience, other than you get to say, oh, look at me, I've got more experience. So there we are. So that's the sort of special ops. You might want to think about it then when you're doing your farming, but most of the farming you're going to do is on the map. The story mode. Now you'll see that I've completed the story mode. I think there is a video out there of me beating Hellstein. But farming is basically replaying and repeatedly replaying old levels. Now, there are different ways you can do it. If you are pay to play, you've got a bit more money on the game, or you've just managed to save them up for a while, one thing you can consider is using loot tickets. So, for example, I might come into this last boss level with Hellstein. If I was to replay it, it would take me quite a long time. Hellstein is still reasonably tough to beat. It's not that easy, but because I've got loot tickets, I can just come in. I've beaten this level already. I can hit auto win. I can use my loot ticket, and bam, there we are, straight away. There's all my rewards. I get my 9 recruits. I get all those various bits. 7 world energy. Some people say you get less loot for using when you lose the loot tickets. I don't know. It doesn't always seem as effective, but it's a really time saver. If you're short of time, and that's quite a handy one. Even if you are a little bit short of time, there are other things to consider. You might want to sort of have a little think about. Now, the first thing is to consider about how many world energy you need for each level. So if you start at mission 1, all the way back here in Deep Forest, and you work your way up to mission 9, the very first one of mission 991, you'll find you only need 3 world energy. So if I just click on 91 here, you'll see 3 world energy. 3 world energy is good energy to farming return rate. So quite a few people, if they're farming, this is 9.2 now, we'll just see 9.2 needs 4 world energy. I would never advocate doing like 9.2 because the step up of energy required for farming, it means it's less effective. You get less bang for your buck, so to speak. A lot of people farm on 8.6. This is 8.6 here. So it's a good level to replay. It's 3 world energy, which means you can do it lots and lots and lots of times, which is one of the key things for farming. When you go into it, you go, here we are, 8.6. I'm told 8.6 is slightly better in terms of, I think it was recruits than 8.7. You get slightly more recruits. Empires and Puzzles 8.7 is normally the best to do. Most levels you get a different amount of recruits and whatever else have you. So here we go. So this is 8.6, isn't it? I just said 8.6. You'll see I've set up a farming team at the top. It's not my strongest team in terms of tile damage, but it does have heroes all have an offensive special skill. So I haven't taken a healer. I haven't taken a what do you call it? Somebody who puts up a counter attack. Those kind of special skills, which if you're farming, are actually. I mean, you'll still win. It just takes slightly longer. The special skills, you want ones that will actually hit as many enemies as possible, as quickly as possible. Now, I will do this the way I normally do a farming mission. Now, I started off there, but I was just going to tell you about it. If you look up in the top right-hand corner, there's a really, really useful little button, just the autoplay button. You've also got the flee button, but, you don't want to be fleeing during farming generally, unless you're trying to avoid leveling up, but that's a different story, and that could take a while to explain. That's all to do with experience again, and you might not want to level up immediately, but you might want to fill your chests, so you just about fail every mission and things, but I don't want to go into that right now. So the little auto button, what I do is I press the auto button, boom, boom, there, double pressed it there. So auto then basically takes over. Now at the moment, obviously I'm watching the screen and I'm talking. You can hear the talking here. A lot of the time what I would do when I've pressed the auto button is go and do something else. So people often sort of say to me, wow, you must spend quite a lot of time on the game. And to some extent I do, but a lot of the time that I'm on the game is actually I'm doing other things. It's just my phone sitting there doing it away in the background to itself, whilst I'm cooking, washing up, doing chores, all the general lifestyle things I might be getting on with. Sometimes if I'm out for a walk, it's just going in my pocket and whatever else. Let's not go into details of what I get up to in my personal life. Anyway, but that's basically what goes on. So this is how I would often farm. You'll see, I haven't touched the screen. I know I'll win. If I were to put my phone down and go for a little walk or do any old random task, I'd get back and this would have been won. So I'd come back here and go, oh yeah, my screen has won. Let's knock the auto. Actually, don't need to knock the auto off. Here we are. So victory. Well, it was always going to be a victory. That's not a great return actually. I thought it was 8.6. Somebody said detonators I find quite handy because I'm building a lot of battle items. But 5 recruits. 807 experience. Well, the experience, like I say, isn't too important. But you get. I'm lucky there. I've got a 2-star weapon. That's quite handy. I've got Chen, so he's somebody I can feed to everybody else. You're just getting stuff like this. You get a bit of food and iron, but it's not really that important. The food and iron. Really, more this is about the crafting and upgrading items, and the recruits, the little funky little recruits who are seducing you there because they can become heroes, and also. Can be quite handy, the heroes and weapons you get, but you can get them except for the weapons. Weapons it's really important to keep farming. Heroes you get probably more from your training camps. So that would be one option, is to farm the levels that only cost 3 world energy. The slight downside to that is that some battle items are only available from some crafting items are only available from mission 12 onwards. So here is mission 12. You can go to mission 12. Mission 12, I believe. I believe all of the missions are 4 world energy. So if you click into this one, you'll see 4 world energy. So mission 12 onwards, you get some of the better crafting items that you might need, the better ascension items that you might need. I think it actually probably is only the ascension items that change, but you get things like binoculars and trench spades and funky stuff like that. If you go into mission 13, if you go to mission 13.8, you'll see that 13.8 requires 4 world energy. Whereas if you look on to mission 13.9, you'll see 13.9 requires 5 world energy. So don't do 13.9, basically do 13.8. The difference is not worth the extra 1 world energy. I think there's a couple of these that are better than others, and I can't remember which ones. But I'm just going to do 13.8. Now this time I'm not going to use auto. Auto would do this for me. I could just hit auto. But having sort of shown you auto once, I'm just going to quickly try and get through it. You can normally get through it a little bit more quickly if you do it yourself. Although my fat thumbs are letting me down here and I'm waffling too much. You can generally get through it a little bit quicker if you do the whole thing yourself, because the computer AI isn't brilliant when it's running your attacks. And yeah, here we go. So again, this isn't doing difficult levels. This is to kind of get experience. This is to kind of help you build up your heroes, so that if you get stuck on a mission, you can rather than replaying a mission where you're stuck all the time, go back, level up your heroes some more, boost your heroes up. And then try the level again, maybe build some better battle items and things. This is how you move through the game and how you get your heroes stronger. As I say, this is one I would normally just hit auto, but today I'm just trying to get through it sort of relatively quickly. Boom, boom, boom. The thing with farming is you don't need to think too much. There are times when I've gone onto the game and I've gone, ooh, let me look for a really good move on the screen. I can't see one. And then I remember that I'm farming, and actually you don't need to worry about good screens and good moves. You just quickly tap your way through it. That's all you got to do. Like I say, auto can do it, so it's not hard. Auto is worth remembering. One or two people think, auto, if I've already won the mission, auto will automatically win me. It doesn't work like that. Auto can still lose. Even if you've completed the mission before in the past. So that's just a point really that I have heard people make a slight mistake on. So yeah, this is your basic level of farming. It's a useful way to just keep your heroes being leveled up. Like I say, oops, accidentally pressed flame bomb. That was a waste of a flame bomb. Stupid fat thumbs. This is something auto wouldn't have done. Look, there we are. Yes, so you do want to be doing plenty of farming. It's worth filling up your chests every day. Oh, goodness me. The chests return, normally you get something along the lines of a token, some food, some iron, a couple of low-end ascension items generally, but occasionally you'll get lucky and get one of the higher ones. And that's it, really. So there we are. That is the essential basis of farming. I forgot to say then, there would be items there that came up. The one you really want if you are farming sort of levels 12 and 13 is you're really hoping for an epic skill book, which do occasionally come up from farming above level 12, and they're really useful for upgrading your hero's special skills. So they are really, really important. Last thing to mention in terms of farming is you'll often find that you get, the little chests at the top at the moment might say enemy hero war machine. Occasionally you'll get a coloured chest, and you'll want to find a mission which has got plenty of that colour on to farm. So for example, because this is the only one I know off the top of my head, 9.1 is really good for farming yellow heroes, because all of the mobs are yellow, the boss is yellow, it's only 3 world energy, so it's a really good energy to monsters, to enemies return. So definitely one to consider if you are looking to fill a yellow chest. There are other missions to think about, but generally farming wise, you're going to want to look at levels below 13.8, which was that one I did earlier on, and working your way down. Not really worth, generally speaking, farming missions before about number 7, because the returns are very, very low. But there can be extra reasons. As I said, I was short of detonators a while back because I built lots of battle items. So I did number 3, which gives you an increased chance of detonators, which brings me, I suppose, to my last point. Very, very briefly. Now, there are certain materials where you have an improved chance, let's look at crafting items, where you have an improved chance of finding them on a given mission. So if you go into your inventory, let's say that for, I know what we'll go for. let's say that I wanted to find lots of rugged shirts, which are a popular item. I'd go into rugged shirts. It says this item can be found as loot starting from area 2, so basically you can find them all over the place. There is an increased chance to find them on area 5 and 13. So if you're just focusing on rugged shirts, it's probably worth doing area 5. If you want to get some other ascension items as well, it's probably worth doing area 13. And replaying those ones more heavily. So these are all just things to consider and points to make with farming generally. Anyway, I hope there was something in there that was helpful to everyone. Remember to do your Mystic Vision as well. I won't, not Mystic Vision, your Drive-In Theatre. Sorry, I'm getting my games confused again. Again, it's something you want to try and do every day because you get some quite good loot out of Drive-In Theatre. Yes, so I hope there was something vaguely useful in there for everyone, and I hope everybody's staying safe during these dark and difficult times with quarantine and whatever else have you. Remember to like, share, subscribe, comment, and everything else on the video that YouTubers always tell everyone to do. Thank you very much for watching. It just remains for me to try and get this button ready and to say, may death come swiftly to your enemies. This is Farmer Ben saying goodbye. Bye!